The Mount Moon Review podcast, while a podcast about Pokemon, is not intended for children. You can expect some instances of adult humor, coarse language, and adult situations. Parental discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 50 of the Mount Moon Review podcast, the only podcast with two Pokemon smiles. I am your host, the Razgrease, with my co-host, the Blue Dog Gold Dog, bringing you all the information you need to know about the world of Pokemon that's happened in the last week, in less than an hour-ish. Oh, geez, Duck, this has been a rather eventful week, actually, which is...
This might be about an hour.
This might be about an hour. It's a welcome change, because we have had some dry spells lately, so... Let's just jump right into this so we're not dragging this out. You want to start with Pokemon Direct?
Either Pokemon Direct or Isle of Armor reviews.
You choose. Let's go with the Direct. Let's go with the Direct.
All right. So, the Direct was last Wednesday. I'm like, that's the same day Isle of Armor comes out. What could they possibly want to show us? What are you going to reveal stuff in the game and then tell us we can play the game?
It's available right now.
Exactly. Here's all the new Pokemon we're including. Spoiler alert, that wasn't it. We'll talk about that later. They ended up just showing us a slew of apps and games that are up and coming.
Yeah, it really had nothing to. Why they chose that date, I don't know. Unless they just wanted you to have a day of Pokemon is the only thing I could figure out, because it had nothing to do with Isle of Armor. Nothing.
Right. I was surprised. I had no idea what it was going to be, but this is not what I was expecting by any means. So the first thing they showed us was, it might not be the first thing, but one of the things they showed us was Pokemon Smile, which I was like, oh, okay, so this can go along with Pokemon Sleep. What do you mean we're not seeing anything from Pokemon Sleep yet?
You know what? I'm a little butthurt about that. I've been
waiting a new game.
I've been waiting for Pokemon Sleep now since they announced it. I've been making jokes week after week after week.
Right?
This damn thing needs to come out. I'm running out of material.
Right, and before we get another cringy, or before we figure out what game the cringy Pokemon Sleep is, they show us a new cringy Pokemon game, Pokemon Smile. Well, which actually in its premise isn't cringy.
And it's free. Let me point that out before we even start delving into this. It is a free app. They just given it away.
Exactly. And it's basically designed to be like a little mini game that your kid interacts with the camera while they're brushing their teeth, and it helps them purify cavity Pokemon, and then they can catch the Pokemon they find. Really weird premise, but it's also pretty cool, that they're giving kids an incentive to brush their teeth.
It's a little augmented reality game. I'm sure it probably started out as something else, and they said, instead of just throwing it away, we might as well do something with it. That's my guess. But whatever. If it encourages one kid to brush his teeth, what the hell? I'm not gonna bash it too much.
Have either of your kids used this?
No, they have not. I've thought about downloading. Actually, set a reminder, and it just never happened.
I thought about downloading it and just using it just so I could say what it's like, but I never got around to doing it either.
Yeah. Oh well. Not a huge loss as far as I'm concerned.
Next up, I forgot to actually go in and get the real name. I didn't have it when I was typing this. So it's a Pokemon Cafe game. It's a matching game, but not like your traditional match 3. We saw the player
stirring.
Right, it's a bunch of Pokemon faces, and they spin them around, and then it sorts them out while it's spinning.
Something like that. I think it was called Pokemon Cafe.
Right.
But it's going to be on smart devices and the Switch, if I remember correctly. But a lot of people don't even realize the Switch has touchscreen functionality. You know that?
Right?
Do you realize how many people don't realize that?
It's good for typing in your Pokemon's nicknames.
I don't give them nicknames. It's good for using Pokemon Home to try and find the bloody things. I'll tell you that much.
Oh.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on is this is the meat and potatoes of this presentation. I am so excited for this new Pokemon Snap. Pokemon Snap is one of my most beloved games on Nintendo 64. I can take a picture of every single Pokemon in the game in less than 3 hours. I have a little, like, it's not, I wouldn't call it a speed run, but every so often, just for fun, I'll pop it in and 100% the game real quick.
I got to be honest with you, and hate mail incoming. I hated Pokemon Snap.
You hated Pokemon Snap?
I hated Pokemon.
No. Why? What's wrong with Pokemon Snap?
I just thought it was boring.
What?
I thought it was boring.
You could see 3D Pokemon.
I could do that in Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah, Pokemon Stadium is also good.
Yeah, give me a Pokemon Stadium remake. Come on now.
I would be okay with that. Competitive Pokemon could just be Pokemon Stadium. And that's what I've been saying for a while. Anyways, so yeah, it's an updated Pokemon Snap game. We saw Pokemon from Generation 8. We saw Pokemon from Generation 1. And the graphics look absolutely beautiful. Timeless.
Yeah, it does look good. It looks like they use the same engine as Sword and Shield. Just a different perspective on there, forcing that first person perspective, which we
right. Yeah,
I gotta tell you, and I know we're gonna get to reviewing Isle of Armor. There are so many areas where you get forced into that first person perspective a lot lately because of the way the maps are. But it looks just like Pokemon Snap. So yeah, I guarantee that's where they used as the engine for it. But yeah, I'm glad you're looking forward to it. I'm happy.
I'm so happy. I'm gonna play the crap out of this. And I'll probably stream the crap out of the game, unless you have to use the Switch as like the camera.
I bet you do. I guarantee you do.
Then it's not streamable, so that's
sure
gonna be a problem.
Sure it is. Just hook a wire up to it and do it.
That's not how it works.
You could do it. We'll see.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah. Anyways, Megas in Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. I thought they were done with Megas, but maybe not.
Yeah, that you would think, but no, Megas are coming back, and we do have a complete list of the Megas.
Yep.
So if you avert your eyes, if you're not interested in knowing them, because I am going to put them on screen. But we have a complete list, and it was kind of shocking that they're bringing back the Megas at all. But some of the ones that they're is there any missing at this point from the list that we got?
So. Well, here's the thing, though. Here's one thing interesting. I just noticed Deontay's in there, included in the Megas, and Deontay is a mythic Pokemon from Gen 6. Is Deontay in? They haven't done Gen 6 in Pokemon Go yet, right?
Womp womp. I don't believe so. So yeah, that's yeah. So yeah. I didn't even notice that. So I think there might have been one or two that come out. I don't think the generation itself has come out entirely. But yeah, so I'd actually have to go in and research it, which I didn't do. But I
just noticed it too. So
we're gonna get both Mega Evolutions from Mewtwo, which awesome. We got Mega Rayquaza, which that's gonna give people a little heart attacks. Groudon, Kyogre, I mean, you name it, we got them. They're all there. So it's a kind of a with the Pokemon. You'd almost expect the Pokemon V's to come out, before just to promote that aspect of the TCG. But there seems like they kind of want to go in order of things, and they're going to give us Mega Evolutions.
Yeah, I mean, It's so confusing. I guess if they're going to dish out Gen 6, they're dishing out the Megas to go with it. Maybe Gen 6 is coming.
It's possible. I mean, it's definitely going to be possible. There's probably going to be some announcements coming out of GoFest.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens. Typically at GoFest, they make some kind of big announcement about what's going to happen. And shortly thereafter, we have some kind of research assignment that leads up to a big reveal of some kind within a couple months.
What
was that?
My neighbor's driving in his yard.
We typically do this like several hours from now.
And sometimes he's driving in his yard several hours from now. He's hardly ever driving in his yard, too.
I swear to God, every time I hit the record button, your
Only
neighbor.
it's only on Mondays. Only when we're recording.
Right on. So what else we have from the Direct?
Let's see. Pokemon Snap, Megas, and Pokemon Go. Oh, I was gonna say. I bet the day 2 is Gen 6 is added.
I mean, it's possible. They keep saying that on day 2 there's going to be some kind of big secret thing.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are interested in doing the Go Fest, which I'm sure we're going to cover a little bit more, but you got to make sure that if you're going to compete in it, you are there for the first day. Because if you're not there for the first day, you can't do most of the stuff for day 2. So just something to keep in mind if you decide to do that and drop the $15 on it, which I think is entirely overpriced. But
yeah, agreed.
Next,
Zero Aura raids.
Oh, they're a pain in the butt.
If you've been playing the Isle of Armor, you've probably run into some Zero Aura raids.
Well, no, you don't even have to do it on the Isle of Armor. You can do that in just in the regular wild area.
Oh, I haven't been in the regular wild area, so
No, it's
I wouldn't know.
It is Sword
So
and Shield wide. It's Galar wide. The Zora Aura raids are all over the place. Matter of fact, the first one I tried to do was just outside of one of the big city, and it was a shiny.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I've done a few. I have not seen a shiny one yet, but I have seen people tweeting pictures of stuff, and I heard you said you saw a shiny one, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah, but the only thing about it is this the whole stamp method of finding people to play with in those raids, unless you are going in there with friends already, is busted. You can't get anybody. You can't just keep hitting spamming the refresh because it doesn't let you. So you just have to hit invite others and wait and see. And 9 chances out of 10, you're not going to get anybody. And
yeah, I tried to do a 5-star raid by myself, and
you can't.
It knocked out all the partner Pokemon in one hit. So like, well, okay, cool.
Yep.
I guess lose.
Yep, that's pretty much what it comes down to. You can't beat Zora by yourself. You just can't do it. It's going to knock out all the... Okay, well, you don't got any partners? Well, no problem. We see that maybe you have connectivity issues, so we're going to supply you with partners. This guy has a Magikarp. This guy has an Eevee.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And it has a Weavile, and Zeraora has fighting-type moves.
Yeah, it's like, thanks.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's completely dismal, but I have managed to beat him probably half a dozen times.
So, it's a little confusing how this is working, but they said if 1 million players beat Zeraora in raids, then they will distribute shiny Zeraora.
Yeah, I think you have to have Pokemon Home? Yeah, I don't know. It's very confusing, but it seems like as long as you competed in and beat Zeraora in a raid, somehow or another you're getting a shiny Zeraora, providing that he's beat by 1 million different people.
Right, and is he beat 1 million times, or is it 1 million like congruent different players, or I don't know how it works.
It's hard to tell, but like within the first couple days, there was already hit 250,000.
Right.
So it's going to happen.
I'm
guessing it'll probably be a mystery gift.
Probably.
But how do you? I mean, is their system set up in such a way that it actually tells who competed in the raids? Or...
I think it's just going to be distributed to everybody who is playing at the time. Like for this 3-day period, you can get your Zeraora.
They've already put the period out there. It's like almost a month.
I meant this is how long the Zeraora is available.
No, I'm telling you, it's going to be. They've already put it out there. I've got the dates somewhere.
Oh, the Zeraora is going to be available for a month.
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
So, take that for what it's worth.
And then, surprisingly enough, here's another shocker from the event. On the 24th, which is in 2 days, they're doing another Pokemon Direct. You might be thinking, what the heck did they have to reveal in the next week that they couldn't reveal this week?
The thing is, though, it's not the first time they've done that. They've done Directs one after another.
Right.
But, yeah, so what the heck are they going to put in this one, Doug?
Well, I mean, this isn't my theory by any means. I was looking at it. I was looking at the display they had while I was working at the time. So I couldn't really, get in and like tweet out the hype or talk to people about it.
Duck went to the bathroom again, folks.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh wow, look at all this stuff in the background. Johto confirmed? Ha ha! Laugh it off. Go to check the news feeds when I get off work, and everybody's like, "Let's go, Johto! Confirmed!" I'm like, "Oh, yeah." I mean, I guess it's I guess this is what we're thinking. So Ishihara, he was the only one that talked during the event. But
and,
he was,
and it was only about a 20-minute event.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all that long either.
He was sitting in front, like the background behind him is what everybody's talking about. Is these hints to Johto? They had a Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee Switch box. Sitting right in front of that was an Espeon and Umbreon plushie. Okay? Up on the shelf, like on either side of his head, were the legendary beasts, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. Next to them was Feraligatr, Typhlosion, and Meganium. On the other side of his head, we saw a Lapras, a Mewtwo, a Ho-Oh, and a Lugia. And then there were a couple Slowpokes scattered around, and then 2 statues of Sandshrew that were gold and silver.
It's an awfully bizarre thing.
To me, these are all hints to Johto, right? Because we have the Slowpoke well in Johto. It's a main story event where you stop Team Rocket from cutting off Slowpoke tails. Lapras is a static encounter. You have to go to a cave on Friday night at a specific time to catch a Lapras in gold and silver. Obviously the legendaries, all the legendaries from the game were in there. And then the Eevee, Espeon and Umbreon plushies, the 2 evolutions that were added in Gen 2. The only Pokemon that doesn't make any sense to me was Mewtwo. Because I don't think Mewtwo is available in Gold and Silver. That was probably the game I played the most as a kid because I could actually read when those games came out. I couldn't read when Red and Blue came out.
God, I'm old.
So that's the game. That's like my first Pokemon game. My first game was Red, but I didn't know how to get the parcel, so I couldn't ever leave Viridian City. Viridian. Yeah, I was stuck in Viridian.
Viridian City.
Yeah. So I got a question to present to you. Now, obviously, there's a lot of, evidence here that this could be what we're seeing. What Pokemon do you think you're going to get paired with in a Let's Go Johto remake? Because they had the Pikachu and Eevee.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the remakes are going to be the Let's Go type series. I have no idea.
I was always saying,
I
was guessing Togepi and Meryl.
Ew.
Just because they're like small little baby Pokemon that could sit on your shoulder the whole time. But because Espeon and Umbreon were sitting in front of the Switch, now a lot of people are thinking it's going to be Espeon and Umbreon. Like maybe you get an Eevee at the beginning, and then through the day and night cycle, which they may include, they may not. Maybe they can evolve. Your Eevee evolves into Espeon or Umbreon. Maybe you have Espeon and Umbreon from the start. But the coolest thing that I ever came up with, I don't know if this is something I wrote messages about months and months and months ago, like right after Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee came out. What if you always had the Pikachu and Eevee were broken, right? They had ridiculous moves and entirely different base stats, really strong, basically legendary Pokemon.
Yeah, I just found out today you cannot transfer them into
out.
You can't even transfer them out of Let's Go.
They're fake Pokemon.
Yeah.
So what if in the beginning of the Johto story, you get an egg called the Mystery Egg, right? That's Togepi. What if instead of in a Togepi in that egg is a Ho-Oh or a Lugia egg, depending on what game you have. When you take it to Professor Elm, it hatches. Now you have a baby Ho-Oh or Lugia sitting on your shoulder throughout the entire game. And then when you would normally catch Ho-Oh or Lugia in the game, it evolves instead of going to catch them.
Is there any game in the mainline series that does not have a Pikachu and Eevee in it?
I
don't believe so.
No Eevee. There was no Eevee in Ruby and Sapphire. Like no way to catch it. You had to trade it in from Fire Red.
Okay, but it can be in the game.
Well, I mean, all the Pokemon can be in every game.
The point I'm getting at is I would not be the least bit shocked if we do not see Pikachu and Eevee continue in the Let's Go series.
Oh, like you get a Pikachu or an Eevee.
Yeah.
That'd be lame. I'd be so disappointed.
Well, those are the two mascots. Those are the most identifiable Pokemon. People, I think it's a good possibility that they'll stick with them. But maybe this time around actually have Eevee able to evolve, or Pikachu able to evolve.
It doesn't make any sense to travel around. I mean, Johto is a little bit that's connected to Kanto, so I could give it a pass for Kanto. But if they were to do Hoenn, it doesn't make any sense to get a Pikachu and an Eevee in Hoenn.
Sure it is. You come there on a boat. You have your Eevee with you.
Oh, you're saying like you're the same protagonist again?
Maybe.
Okay, so I'm still thinking we're starting over our journey.
Nope, and I would venture to guess that there is some kind of incentive for having a Let's Go previous title on your Switch already, such as they did with other games of that nature.
Oh, also I forgot. Masuda, I don't know if it was last night or today while I was working, he had a picture of his cat on his shoulder, and it said "Let's go, comma Kiki," which is the name of his cat.
Kiki, is it a black cat?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I don't think so. I think it's a brown cat.
Oh,
but I wanted to get
opportunity.
Put it in the. I wanted to get the tweet and send it to you to put in the show, but I forgot.
I mean, now let's just be clear about this. We're not guaranteed a Let's Go title. It might be.
No, it might not be Let's Go. It might just be another.
Might be a remake.
Might be Pokemon Stadium. Might just be a straight up Switch version of Gold and Silver.
Or it
might not be anything like that.
They could just be screwing with you.
They could just be screwing with us. Yeah.
Which they've done in the past.
Right. This seems like, so they have done teasers for what they're going to release in the past. Like in almost every press conference, after Sun and Moon came out, there was a Pikachu and an Eevee plushie in their background. We didn't have any reason to expect anything at that point, though. But, like the clues were there after the game was revealed. We're like,
oh, yeah. Okay.
Right.
Why didn't we see that?
Now we're looking for clues, and they might know we're looking for clues and do something completely crazy. The next remakes we're actually expecting are Diamond and Pearl.
I'm going to make a bold prediction. It's not going to be Johto. It's going to be Pokemon Refrigerator.
Oh, okay.
That we're getting Pokemon Sleep. We got Pokemon Teeth. We're getting Pokemon Refrigerator. That's what it is. It's gonna be yellow. It's gonna have a tail. Yep, Pokemon Refrigerator, folks. You heard it here first.
Maybe we'll have to see. Maybe we'll do a little mini episode to go over the stuff that gets revealed on Wednesday.
Yeah, good idea. All right, what's next?
TCG.
Yay!
Not too much stuff, but a couple products were revealed. On September 4th, they're going to have Pikachu, Eevee, and Eternatus V tins. So that's Pikachu V and EVV. EVV.
EVV.
That's funny. Coffee V.
EVV.
Pikachu and Eevee don't do anything special. And then the Eternatus V is actually, I think it's a different artwork, but it's the same Eternatus as the one that was revealed to be in the set. The Blazing Darkness set or whatever.
Whatever it's called at this point.
On the same day, they're also going to release an Eternatus V Premium Collection, which comes with like the pin and the jumbo card and the promos for Eternatus and Eternatus V Max.
Why are we still doing the jumbo cards?
I don't know. I don't know who likes the jumbo cards. You know why they do it?
Because kids buy them.
So kids buy them, but also you can put it on eBay and hope that people buy your $7 jumbo card thinking it's a $20. It's actually a very cheap V card.
Okay. That's
people that may or may not have happened to some people that do this show. I don't know.
Did it really happen to you?
Yeah.
What they do, just like
When I was first getting into collecting, I was trying to get my deck ready to go to Pokemon Nationals, and
what they do, put like an aerial photo into the stupid thing.
yeah, it's just a picture on a playmat. It didn't look weird to me.
Assholes.
I know.
Anyway, keep going.
I just thought it was an interesting fact about the Eternatus VMAX is that we've never seen a full art VMAX yet. They're always the Rainbow Rare. So like, there's the regular art, and then
Well, it's the new version of Rainbow Rare. It's not like the old one.
Oh,
It's
right.
that
But,
new
like,
VMAX Rainbow Rare version.
right. The VMAXs, there aren't full art VMAXs. They're all Rainbow Rares. Like, that's the next rarity up from the regular art. And then there's no Rainbow Rares of the regular Vs. They have full arts. Well, the promo for Eternatus V is a full art, not a Rainbow Rare. So I thought that was kind of cool. That it's like the only VMAX that's full art.
Understood.
Yep. But that's it for TCG.
Right on. Keep going. We're on a roll, man. We're on a roll.
Next up is some data mine info from Pokemon Go.
Yeah. So this was kind of funky. I'm kind of shocked. I mean, we'd already covered a little bit with the Mega Evolutions. I completely lost it there for a second. But there was a whole host of data mined information that came out with the latest APK pack. So, Duck, give us the biggest and the brightest that you've pulled out of there.
So it was a lot of info, but it was actually like a tiny bit of info once I read it all.
Yeah,
it was all pertaining to one thing. It was like so there's a new event that's about to happen in Pokemon Go, and it's gonna be about Pokemon Go Rocket. Maybe this is the time you finally get to join Go Rocket, like we've been predicting.
I hope so.
But
I got, because I've had to go back into Let's Go, because in the last couple of days I've actually decided to start actually finishing up my Pokedex in Sword and Shield. I never did it. But so I was going in there transferring a lot of stuff around, and I remembered, I was like, oh, look at that, I forgot my character is wearing the black a Rocket outfit, so is my Eevee, you know. It's like, dang, now I really want to join Team Rocket.
So basically all the data mine code was pertaining to this balloon that's going to start showing up on, in different areas. And I think you click on the balloon and you have to battle Go Rocket or something like that.
Yeah,
so it's
they keep saying it's like the Team Go Rocket balloon. They're not referencing the Meowth balloon, so it's probably gonna be a black balloon.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It'd be awesome to see a big Meowth. But yeah, so what's the data mine information telling us?
So it's basically all the motions and commands that this balloon can do. Like, it's going to be floating in the air, going up and down. It's going to have a shadow on the ground that gets bigger and smaller based on how high the balloon is. It was just all little tiny commands like that.
That was a lot of it, yeah.
It was a very long list of commands, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, oh. I mean, I'm not a programming expert. There's probably stuff I missed. Like, I didn't see anything about new items or anything like that.
Well, there was a little bit of thing about new items, and they're talking about sponsored presents.
Oh, right. Yeah, sponsored gifts or something like that.
So we already have sponsored stops, like most Starbucks, and there's some wireless store that's got them on there as well. Boost Mobile, that's what it is. Boost Mobile, their stores are sponsored stops. There was a couple restaurants I think that did it as well, but those the big ones were Starbucks and Boost Mobile. But it looks like we're gonna have sponsored gifts now as well.
Yeah. So what it looked like was there was code for ad banners. And I think if you have the ad banners while you're playing, then there's like a timer or a certain amount of distance to travel, and every so often you're going to get an item. Who knows what it could be? Like, you'll get a jar of Stardust, or you'll get an Ultra Ball, or something like that.
It does show in the mine that there is a way to turn it off.
Right? Yeah, it's optional. You can
opt out, baby.
No.
Opt hell out. I am not doing that in a million years.
Might be a way to get some items if you don't have any Pokestops around you.
Turn freaking Adventure Sync back on to actually be in the pedometer and not the GPS, and I'll play it like a fiend again. But until they do that, I have very little interest in it. You know what I want right now from Pokemon Go? I want to be able to transfer all my Pokemon to Pokemon Home. That's what I want.
You and everybody else that plays.
That's all I want, man. It's going to help me because I'm doing stuff for Sword and Shield, but it's also going to help people that are Pokemon Go like hardcore players to be able to pay that $15 a year and be able to actually have storage instead of buying them at 50 a pop constantly.
Well, I don't think you can go back to Pokemon Home.
Don't care. Don't care.
Oh, okay. So that's pretty much it for the regular portion of the show. There was, however,
actually, we did have one other thing. Okay. There is a bug in the latest Isle of Armor update.
Oh yeah,
there is a bug, and it is something that it was speculated in a lot of online news shows, whatever, on YouTube, that they didn't know if it was something that was going to be, it was accidental, or if it's something that was actually going to be part of the game to prevent people just from moving everything over into Sword and Shield.
A lot of people were thinking this was on purpose.
Yeah. Apparently it's not. So the problem we were running into is whenever you send everything over, it wasn't registering on the Pokedex. And there was a workaround, and it still works now, where you'd go to the Pokemon nursery and just drop it off. Pick it immediately. What's that?
Or no, it's the nursery now, the daycare where you breed Pokemon.
Yeah. And you just put it in, immediately take it back out, it'll register your Pokedex. Apparently that wasn't the intention. If you go to Pokemon Home and actually go to the news section, which nobody does, there is a post made about it back on the 19th, saying we have confirmed an issue with Pokemon may not be registered to the user's Isle of Armor Pokedex when transferred from Nintendo Switch version of Pokemon Home to Sword and Shield. Thank you for your patience as we work to resolve this issue. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience. Give me my Pokecoins back from all the money I've been spending at the daycare.
Oh, what, the $1,000?
Well, $500 a pop, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that to complete the last couple entries I needed.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I never bothered with the Galar decks, so now I'm paying for it and I'm going through and doing it. But I did go ahead, and because I knew that I was gonna be getting some stuff from you, Ducky, I got you a Melmetal last night.
Right.
I had to burn some stuff out of Pokemon Go anyway, so I figured, what the hell.
Well, since I don't play Pokemon Go, that's awesome.
It's high IV too.
So do you want to go over the Isle of Armor reviews, or?
Sure, go for it. All
right, so I liked it, but I was expecting a lot more.
Well, you go first, then I'll give my piece.
Story was a little bit lackluster. It seemed like they just shoved you right along. Didn't really have too much development. It got better at the end. But yeah, it seemed like a lot of fetch quest MMO stuff, which I didn't enjoy. And also no new forms, no new designs added to the game other than the Galarian Slowbro we already saw. I was expecting new Galars, new Gigantamax, and they showed us everything that was going to be in there, so there was no discovery. So that was my those are my negatives. My positives are the Pokemon they added. I'm excited to use a lot of them. So I think they had a good roster to update the decks, and I'm excited to go play competitive. I'm right back into it for now. We'll see how long that lasts, but and then Pokemon following you, awesome. I like something about that just makes the game 10 times better.
I just don't see it.
You don't see it?
I know people love it, and I don't know why. I think it's kind of obnoxious.
Really? I love it. Something about vicariously your trainer, you're walking next to your favorite Pokemon.
I don't know. Something freaked me out when I turned around the first time and realized Eternatus was like right up my ass, and I was like, ah!
Great. But yeah, that's my thoughts. So there's some goods and bads. I'm a little bit disappointed by the amount of content they added, though.
Okay, I'm gonna fight you a little bit on that one.
Okay.
So everyone's complaining about the amount of content, saying it's not a whole lot. In reality, you could probably beat the storyline in about 3 hours. Would you guess, Doc?
I think if you didn't get distracted by all the new Pokemon, you could probably do it.
If you want to just hammer through the story, 2 to 3 hours, done. To complete your decks, there's a lot of stuff on there. There's a lot of stuff just scattered about. There is if you want to unlock everything in the Isle of Armor, it's going to take you every bit of a day. And you have to have stuff stored up to do that. Now, it's a lot of quality of life stuff, so that now we can do new things. For an example, we can get half-priced vitamins if we pay to have
Oh,
that.
they half-priced?
Yes.
Oh, snap. I unlocked them, didn't even look to buy any. They're half-priced.
The vending machine's half-priced.
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
The soup. We got the soup, so now we can create Gigantamax.
That is another really good feature.
We did get one new Pokemon in Cubfu. Meh, who cares? We got a new set of characters. Again, meh, not really too hype on them. I'm having a lot of fun with it because the entirety of the story takes place in an expanded wild area. Really, there's 4 buildings on the entire archipelago?
Yeah.
So the whole thing is a wild area, which is cool. I like that. But I think what a lot of people are getting hung up on is, I paid $30 for this. No, you paid $15 for this. This is only half. We're getting a whole nother half later in the year. So don't get hung up on the fact that, oh, it's $30. No, it was $15. And when you look at it from that perspective, I think you did okay. My opinion.
Yeah.
So that all being said, I think we are going to delve into spoiler territory for the Crown Tundra. So if you don't want to hear about that, you're definitely going to want to turn this off and tune in next week because we're going to finish up with all the data mine that came out of Isle of Armor, because they put all the Crown Tundra stuff in there, and it's already on your Switch right now, folks. But it's just, you can't see it. So the people at Data Mined it came up with a lot of stuff, Ducky. So what do we have?
Yeah. All right. So one of the first things to note is they did not remove all the fly points or the different areas that the Crown Tundra is broken down to. If you look on the map, there's the squares everywhere, like 1 square per area. That's all in the map. It's below the starting area, like the town where you first start. It's like under you.
Yeah.
So the Crown Tundra takes place south.
So right now we go off to the east to get to the Isle of Armor. Now we're going south to get to the Crown Tundra.
Crown Tundra is directly south. We didn't get to see the actual map or the colors or how if it's mountainous or whatever. It's obviously mountainous by the trailers, but we saw all the squares in a big jumbled area. Also looking through the Pokédex is in there too, the blank spaces in the Pokédex. So we now know every single Pokemon that's getting added to the DLC as well. And this was tweeted and then taken down, like forcefully taken down, which is a pretty good indicator that it's real info.
So we're going to run down. I don't think we can go down the whole list unless you want to, Doug.
It's going to be a lot. We can just talk about some of the more interesting Pokemon.
Right. So here
I
it
don't
is.
We got a picture in front of me.
I happen to. So so we got a lot of Kanto ones back again.
Yeah.
Just go down go to the ones you think are going to be the most significant, other than the legendary birds. Because my Articuno, my Zapdos, and my Moltres are back.
Yeah. Aerodactyl is coming in. This entire format has been speed control. Aerodactyl is one of the fastest Pokemon ever in the game. So this is probably going to see some play. It also gets weather control with the ability to Dynamax, and it can go for rock moves. And it can also use flying attacks that boost its partner's speed. So you can one stop your opponent that's trying to use like Sunny Day or the rain or anything like that. You set up weather very fastly, so your Pokemon get boosted and their attacks don't get affected by the weather. And you can also speed up the rest of your team
quickly.
Dragonite's another awesome one. It's really strong attacks, Outrage and Draco Meteor, and flying type attacks as well. You get the 3 Hellwind starters, they're all fine in their own right. Blaziken is probably the one most likely to see play. Maybe Swampert too. All the fossils, they're in there. Salamence and Metagross are another huge one. We knew about the Reggies.
Yeah, the Reggies are pretty much always been a lock.
Whole slew of legendaries, all the legends from all the cover legendaries and the trios from the other games. Garchomp, that's going to be another huge one. Garchomp is going to be a monster in VGC, especially with the ability to Dynamax. But that was also confirmed a while ago. And that's pretty much it, other than
we got all the Ultra Beasts.
All the Ultra Beasts, the Tapus, they're going to be in there. They're probably going to be really hard to beat because they all have those abilities where they set up the terrains, the Misty terrain, the Electric terrain, Grassy Surge, whenever they come out. So, this is going to be just as impactful as the Isle of Armor is to VGC.
Yeah, there's a couple in there I'm just absolutely shocked by. Like Xerneas. I mean,
Xerneas probably isn't going to be allowed, but what they're probably going to do is have one of the off years where they don't have a new game coming out. They're going to be like all legends are allowed. Like, you can pick 2 legends on your team in VGC. And
have they done that in the past for the?
Yeah, that's like so they do the newest game. So when the game comes out, the only Pokemon allowed that year, Pokemon in that game. The next year, the entire national dex is allowed, other than legendaries, other than cover legendaries. Usually the trios are allowed, but not like Lugia and Ho-Oh or Xerneas and Yveltal.
Right.
And then the third year is the Battle of Legends. You can pick 2 Pokemon from the legendary list and add pick 2 Pokemon from the legendary list and then add them to your team. So that's probably what we're going to be seeing.
Yeah, they have a tendency to do that. It's not as though it's illegal now, but it might not be illegal next year because that's just the way they've done it. And because it's usually a 3-year cycle for games. If I'm correct on that, 2 or 3 years.
Well, they'll do like a game it's different now. They changed everything with like Ultra Sun and Moon coming out instead of like another remake.
Yeah.
And then we had Let's Go after that. So the precedent for the Switch is not set up. We don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah. It sounds like we're going to have another Let's Go title next year or maybe by the end of this year. I'm not sure which. My guess will probably be next year.
My guess is this year, actually.
You think it'll be this year?
Next year, I think.
Okay. Well, maybe holiday season we're talking Let's Go Johto.
I think so. I think Isle of Armor or the Crown Tundra is actually going to come out September or October, or maybe that's when Let's Go comes out, and then the DLC comes out in November. Because they said it was going to come out in November, but that was just a placeholder date. That's not the real date that they revealed months ago.
Yeah. Now, for the placeholder date they had for Isle of Armor, it was June 30th, and it came out in June. So we may see it just come out. Typically, a huge release time during that quarter is November 15th. Right, whatever that Thursday is, where November 15th is, that is like the big release.
A week or 2 before Black Friday.
Exactly.
Yep.
So that could be it, but really for the DLC, it might not be the best time because it's not physical. It's not physical media.
Exactly. I think we're gonna get the Crown Tundra early. That would explain why there's hardly any Johto Pokemon in that dex list. And then we'll get Let's Go to Johto like later on this year around the holiday season.
Okay, I'll take it. But yeah, I mean, we've already paid for it, so I know I'm getting it. As for Let's Go, I actually enjoyed Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, so I'll probably get those too.
Tons of fun. That's the best game to shiny hunt in.
Yeah, well, yeah, you saw all my chances.
Right. 2 new Pokemon are are also included in the code for the Crown Tundra. And it looks like they're version exclusives. They're actually up at the end they fall right after the new Reggies, in the Dex order, and then right before Calyrex. So, they don't appear in the image.
Oh, okay.
But like we don't have images for them yet. The images aren't included, but their names are. Well, they're code names, so we don't actually know what they're called.
Yeah, because I mean, Nintendo, Pokemon Company, everybody, they all know exactly the moment they put this stuff out, it's going to be data mined within a day. So there's something they just said, okay, yeah, we know it's going to happen. Here it is. But there is times where they actually use code words, and they will go in and they'll do an update to change the code words, or they'll leave it in there and you just have to know what it means. So they've started encoding stuff within there just to get around the data miners.
Right. I'm not sure what it was in the code that suggested this, but they are related to Calyrex in some way, according to my source, who I am still choosing to never reveal. So,
well, he was right about just about everything
turned out to be a very reliable source.
Yeah, everything we revealed for Sword and Shield was correct, and then all of a sudden everybody else picked it up about 3 hours after us. So, and I don't think he was talking to everybody, but anyway, regardless, we do have this pretty reliable information, and we're probably going to see those very, very... I don't know if it'll be part of the storyline or if it'll just be something you have to unlock. We don't know. We don't know anything yet. We just know that they're there.
Right. Then, so the DLC is also probably going to be broken up into 4 different chapters. So there's probably going to be a storyline that you're following, and it's going to lead you to catching certain Pokemon, because here's the names. The Sacred Bond of Sovereign and Steed. I think this is the Swords of Justice trio, plus Keldeo.
Okay.
So like Virizion, Terrakion, Cobalion, and Keldeo. They came from the Ultra Beyond.
Ultra Beasts,
which are now confirmed to be in the game's code as Pokemon being added with the DLC. The Terrible Titans lurking locked away. Reggies have always been referred to as Titans.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of obvious, but go on.
And then a legendary tree of a legendary 3. The Galar. Yep. We see them fighting in front of the tree in the trailer they just updated. Yeah. They just released. So I think that's going to be. Seems like it's going to be more story driven. Seems like the story is going to be kind of cool if it includes going and catching these, or at least battling them, and then maybe they retreat to dens and we have to catch them later with that multiplayer feature they revealed.
Yeah, there is a whole new multiplayer feature doing with dens. I'm not really too sure exactly, but it's a new dynamic, and looks like you might actually be able to like party up. So thank God, because that whole stamp system has got me just pulling my hair out.
I don't like the stamps either. Interesting enough, though, the Swords of Justice trio are already like you can transfer them in from home. They're going to be allowed in VGC. In July. So I don't know. It doesn't seem very fair because they're very powerful, especially with the ability to Dynamax, and not everybody has access to them, and you can't breed them. So there's going to be plenty of people who don't have an option. Like this just promotes the hackers that sell Pokemon that people ask for, you know?
True.
Like do a distribution if you're going to include these in competitive.
They might.
They should. Well, let's see. But they really should put them in raids for a couple of weeks, you know?
Something. But yeah, I definitely... Anything that promotes the hacking, which it's going to happen regardless, but anything that can even stop one person from indulging in it, I'm for.
So there's also a bunch of items that are included. Some of these aren't that crazy, knowing that knowing what Pokemon are available. The Reveal Glass, that's the item that switches the Genie trio, like the Landorus, Thundurus, Tornadus, from their 2 different forms, the form where they're sitting on a cloud to their like animal form. And then the Zygarde Cube, which is the item you use to transform Zygarde into the 3 different forms it has. So those 2 items are included in the game's code. And then there's 2 items that have the same description as the DNA splicer. This is one of the more juicy details. The DNA splicer is the item you use to fuse Kyurem with Zekrom or Reshiram.
Okay. Which are available in the game now.
And DNA splicers is also available in the game. So they compared the 2 codes, and it's the same description about fusing Pokemon. Calyrex is going to be able to fuse with those other 2 Pokemon that the code says is related to it. That's the
nice.
That's the juicy detail that came out of this. So I think they can see the 2 Pokemon that it can target. I think that's part of, in the code.
Yeah.
Fuses those 2 Pokemon. So that's pretty awesome. Calyrex has a very lackluster design as far as the little mythical fairy Pokemon go, like Mew and Jirachi. I know they're not fairy types, but they're like the pixie legends,
Yeah, that's what they are.
Calyrex looks dumb. So if they can change his form a little bit, that's pretty awesome. They found images for Mega Stones, which means, maybe we're going to get some Megas in the game. I would love VGC with Megas. I love Megas. I think Megas is Mega better than Dynamax. Just saying.
Yeah, well, that and they don't go away until the end of the battle.
Yeah, and they look cool.
But speaking of Dynamax, so did you watch the Players' Cup?
Mm-hmm.
So, something got sneaked in there by accident. I am not going to say the player's name, but apparently there was a player that is a tester, possibly, for Pokemon Company.
Okay.
And he was playing, and he had a Pokemon came out, and it Dynamaxed. And it was not something that he should have had.
I didn't watch day 1 of the Players' Cup. Is that when this happened?
So there is... We've seen this image before, and this is of the Gigantamax Melmetal. Apparently, there was one used on stream for a very short period of time.
Oh, you know what? I went to watch the VOD of day 1.
There's a snippet missing.
I was they removed the whole thing. They set the whole thing to private.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense now. I was actually at a funeral on Saturday, so I tried. The event had just ended when I got home from the funeral, so I was like, "Oh, cool! I'll just watch it now." And they took it down like 5 minutes after they uploaded it.
Yeah. So apparently, we have confirmation that, and we knew it was coming. The Gigantamax Melmetal. So don't know when that'll drop, but I have a feeling
for a while.
I have a feeling we'll have a Meltan event before that happens.
Or maybe they won't distribute it because they don't care who has what.
That's true, too. Well, I guess you should have been playing for years then, suckers.
Yeah. And then an item with the same description as all the other evolution items was also added. So that's your your Thunderstone, your all the stones, the freaking
Thunderstone. Yeah. We got it.
So this is assumed that this item is going to be the item that evolves Galarian Slowpoke into Galarian Slowking.
Okay. Galarian Slowking.
Yep. Which they teased, but they scribbled out his face, so we don't know what Pokemon is on his head, or if it's still a Shelter or what.
Fair enough. Probably a Kingstone.
Or where he got bit.
It's not on the butt this time.
Probably on his foot.
Yeah, it's on his foot. It's on his third leg. What?
No.
Oh, come on, big shelter cod piece. Come on,
man. How's that?
No. All right. Do you got anything else for us, Ducky?
That is it.
Well, in that case, make sure if you're watching the live stream on Twitch, you hit the follow button, that little heart at the top. That means oh so much to me. And then you can also catch the audio version of the podcast on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a lot of other places that picked us up. Other than that, we typically do this on Mondays. We may be switching to Thursdays in the near future. We got to have a discussion about that, but I think that's probably very likely. And you can check out all of our other content if you look on YouTube for the Mount Moon Crew. You can find Shenanigans on there, which is us playing along. You can find our other podcasts, such as the Untitled Anime Show and the Social Liability Show. And anything else we got in there, breaking news and data mine, stuff like that, is going to be popping up there more and more in the very near future. So we look forward to seeing you all on there, and you can like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That'd be great. Duck, do you have anything for us?
Nope.
Then get us out of here.
All right, guys, until next time, just remember, if it's too good to be blue, it's probably gold.
Have a week.
Just because your card is magic, you think you're safe because you killed my life orb. Baby, do you dare to not flinch? 'Cause I'm coming at you like a dark pulse. I know you're gonna throw. You're gonna throw a storm. But I got that lucky chance. There's no critical hits.